Yeah, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. My warmest greetings to all sisters and brothers, the seekers of truth and light. We are all honored to be here on this great day of ADYAR Day from all over the places for this time of spiritual reflection and communion. Uh, Thanks to the Indian section, as they are taking many progressive activities like these and steps to inculcate awareness of theosophical knowledge in everyone. Now, let us pause from the busyness of life and enter this time of stillness through meditation. Okay, dear friends, let's open all your eyes and, if possible, try to keep your camera on and as well as the audio option off and except the speakers. Thank you. Thank you all. I think everyone are here. And today we are here on the occasion of ADYAR Day. Uh, and the importance of this ADYAR Day is also being uh, will be tell by our speakers, and we are welcoming our first speaker here, Miss Sister Sharayu. She will give her speech on importance of ADYAR Day for the members of the Theosophical Society, and we are glad to welcome her. Uh, Hi, Sharyuji, and the platform is yours now.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Deepika ji. Good evening, respected elders, dear members, and fellow
Sharayu, keep
seekers.
your mobile like
Sharyuji,
this.
आपका
Mobile
What?
like this. You are
Oh,
holding like this. So you keep it in this manner.
and
Right.
one point I should add here, speakers, please note the point that content should be from 10 to 15 minutes. And please note that point. Thank you. And please continue.
Alright. Good evening, respected elders, dear members, and fellow seekers. First of all, I would like to thank Deepika ji. I'm truly grateful for this opportunity. Even though we are meeting through Zoom, I want to invite all of us for just a moment to pause wherever you are sitting right now, whether in a small room, uh, a large hall, or at your own desk at home. Feel that we are all gathered at one sacred center. That center is ADYAR. Today we reflect on a simple but very deep topic, the importance of ADYAR Day for the members of Theosophical Society. So, what is ADYAR Day? ADYAR Day is observed every year on the 17th of February. It was established so that members all over the world, no matter which country they live in, no matter which language we speak, could turn their thoughts and hearts towards ADYAR. ADYAR is the international headquarters of Theosophical Society located in Chennai. And on the surface, it looks like a campus with buildings, gardens, libraries, shrine rooms. It sits quietly on the banks of the ADYAR River. But ADYAR Day is not about remembering a building. It is not about remembering a place on a map. It is about remembering our spiritual center, the center that holds us all together, the center from which the work of the society flows. Think of it like this: every river, no matter how far it travels, no matter how many places it passes through, carries the memory of its sources. The river does not stop to think about the sources every day. But when the river forgets its sources completely, it begins to lose its direction. Adar Day is the moment when we, as members, return to our sources. We ask ourselves, where did this work begin? What was the original intention? Are we still connected to that intention today? And that is the meaning of this day. In 1875, the Theosophical Society was founded in New York, but just 7 years later, Madame Blavatsky in Olcott shifted the headquarters to Adyar in India. They were not looking for comfort. The travel was hard, conditions were not easy, but India had something that world needed, a living tradition of ancient wisdom. Adyar became more than land, it became a field of work, a place where East and West could sit together, where science and spirituality could have a respectful conversation, where study and service could walk hand in hand. That vision, that original vision, is what we asked to remember on Adyar Day. The 17th of February is not just any date, it carries deep meaning. And when we look at what this date represents, something remarkable becomes visible. On this day, in 1907, Colonel Olcott left his body. He was the first president of the Theosophical Society. His life was not comfortable. He gave up a successful career. He traveled constantly. He worked tirelessly, building schools, organizing, writing, and corresponding. He showed us through his own life that theosophy is not just theory, it must become service. On the same date, in 1986, Jiddu Krishnamurti also left his body. Krishnamurti was a unique figure. His message was not about beliefs or belonging to any organization. he asked humanity to observe, to look clearly at themselves, without fear, without prejudice, without dependency on any authority. He spoke about the dangers of conditioning, that importance of inner freedom, the beauty of awareness. It is remembered that even he who was independent and did not belong to any organized movement would often say that Adyar must be taken care of, not sentimentally, not with attachment, but intelligently, because it stands for something important. 17th February is also the birth anniversary of C.W. Leadbeater. He was a person of extraordinary dedication, someone who gave his whole life to study, to teaching, and to understanding the deeper dimensions of existence. And if we go further back in history, the 17th of February is connected to Giordano Bruno. Bruno was an Italian thinker who lived in the 16th century. He held ideas that were far ahead of his time about the infinite nature of the universe, about freedom of thought, and he was burned at the stake for it. He gave his life for the freedom to think, for the courage to speak truth even when it was dangerous. So, think about what one single date holds: service, inquiry, study, and courage. This is not a coincidence, this is a symbolic, that is teaching. At the heart of everything stands the motto of the Theosophical Society: there is no religion higher than truth. If we say this sentence slowly and really listen to it, we begin to realize how demanding it is. It means that truth is above religion, truth is above tradition, truth is above personality, truth is even above our own comfort. This is not an easy statement to live by. It is much more comfortable to say, my tradition is right, my teacher is right, my understanding is the final one. But the motto challenges us. It says, are you willing to follow truth, even if truth asks you to change, even if truth makes you uncomfortable, even if truth asks you to let go of something you have held for a long time? Adyar Day becomes important because it brings us back to this foundation. It asks us, are we still sincere seeker or we have become comfortable believers? There is a big difference between these two. A seeker keeps looking, a believer has stopped. Now, I want to take this reflection a little deeper. If Adyar is the heart of the society, then what are we? We are its living cells. Think about this. If the heart is strong, but the cells throughout the body are weak, the body cannot function well. The heart may pump powerfully, but if the cells do not carry the energy forward, the body still suffers. Similarly, if Adyar stands as a beautiful spiritual center, but we as individual members do not live its values, if we talk about brotherhood but practice division, if we speak if we speak about truth but protect our ego, then the spirit of Adyar weakens, no matter how well the buildings are maintained. This is why Adyar Day is not only remembrance, it is responsibility. For members, Adyar Day carries a very specific reminder. We must create Adyar wherever we are. What does that mean? It means Adyar is not limited to geography. It becomes alive through character, through the quality of how we live, how we speak, how we relate to others. If I sit in meditation, Adyar is there. If I speak to someone with kindness, without judgment, Adyar is there. If I listen to a different opinion without immediately reacting, Adyar is there. If I study deeply, Adyar is there. We often hear the phrase, work for Adyar. It is the master's home. Let us take it seriously. If it is indeed a place held sacred by those who have dedicated their lives and beyond to the service of humanity, then what does that ask of us? It asks us to behave with dignity, with responsibility, with inner cleanliness, with harmony. Let us be honest with ourselves for a moment. In our discussion, do we protect unity? In disagreement, do we maintain respect? In service, do we reduce ego? Because our first object, universal brotherhood, is not poetry. It is something we say that at the beginning of a meeting and then forget. It is a daily practice. In today's world, it is easy to criticize. Social media has made it even easier. We can react instantly. We can divide ourselves into groups. We can find others who agree with us and together confirm our own existing opinions. But Theosophy asks for maturity. It asks us to pause before reacting, to understand before judging, to really think before we speak. This is spiritual discipline, and it is not weak, it is strong. It takes more strength to pause than to react. It takes more courage to listen than to speak. ADYAR Day also teaches us something about continuity and about not being attached to personalities. The society has gone through many changes. Precedents have changed, interpretations have evolved, and yet the current of theosophy continues because it does not depend on any single personality, it depends on principles. From Olcott, we learn active practical service. From J. Krishnamurti, we learn fearless inquiry. From Leadbeater, we learn total dedication to study. From Bruno, we learn courage for truth. And from the masters, we learn silent, selfless work done not for recognition, but simply because it needs to be done. These are not just historical examples, these are living teachings. And the question for us today is simple. Which one of these qualities am I actually practicing? Which one do I need to develop more? Just take one silent breath and ask yourself softly, what one quality can I strengthen this year as a member of this society? Is it patience when someone disagrees with you and you first impulse it to react? Is it humility? Is it courage? Is it clarity? Is it responsibility? Choose one. Do not share it with anyone. Do not display it. Just silently decide. And that silent decision, that is ADYAR Day. That is the real celebration. Because renewal does not happen in public speeches. It happens in private resolution. In that quiet inner moment, when a person honestly looks at themselves and chooses to grow. And there is something beautiful. Each sincere inner step that you take does not stay only with you. It creates a small ripple, and that ripple reaches ADYAR. It reaches every sincere member around the world. It reaches something larger than we can see if we are more connected than we think. When we close this session today, nothing dramatic may change outside. The world will remain busy, opinions will remain strong, problems will not disappear, but something can change inside and must change inside. A little more sincerity, a little more alertness, a little more unity. ADYAR is not asking for our admiration. It does not need us to praise it in speeches. It is asking for integrity. It is asking for the courage to live what we say we believe. If we truly believe that there is no religion higher than truth, then our daily life must reflect honesty, clarity, and compassion. Let us not speak about ADYAR, let us represent ADYAR. If each member refines their character even a little, become a little more patient, a little more honest, a little more caring, the society becomes strong naturally. And then ADYAR is not in Chennai, it is in our homes, in our lodges, in our conversations, and in the quality of our silence. This is the real importance of ADYAR Day for us as a member. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharayu. And it's a wonderful and smooth description from you. And one more thing I have to add here. She is from Maharashtra and one of the dedicated theosophists from since age of 2. And she also serves as an executive member of Nagpur Lodge and Marathi Theosophical Federation. She is also a member of World Federation of Young Indian Theosophists with rich organizing experience. She coordinated youth camps in Nagpur with overall 174 participants in 2019, 23, and 24. Her contributions include scripting, staging a one-act play on HPB at the 2019 Nagpur Youth Camp and portraying her in Legacy of Theosophy at the 2023 Marathi Theosophical Convention. She has delivered online lectures during lockdown on linking the Bhagavad Gita to Theosophical teachings and thought power and its control. In November 2023, she also moderated the youth lecture series. Uh, Thank you so much, Sharyuji, and it's wonderful having you here. And next, we are going to the second speaker. She is Mansi Bhagat. By profession, she is a homeopathic doctor in ESIC Hospital, New Delhi, and is an active member of Theosophical Society. She was introduced to Theosophy in 2011 by Dr. Rajiv Gupta, the current president of the Delhi Theosophical Federation. She became member of the Shankar Lodge in 2016. Currently, she is the secretary of Delhi Theosophical Federation. She also propagating Theosophy under the flagship of Delhi Theosophical Federation through writing articles on Theosophy, started YouTube channel with audiobooks, managing Instagram official DTF channel Pearls of Wisdom. She also given several lectures in various lodges, Delhi Federation and Indian section online meetings. And we are here to have her and uh, stage is yours. Please carry on.
Yeah, thank you, Deepika. Thank you so much. And heartiest congratulations to everybody for the ADYAR Day. As I begin, I am sorry that I can't find my slides. Somehow they have just disappeared. So, what I had prepared about Henry Steele Olcott was that I not just prepared about Henry Steele Olcott, but also about all the past lives that are very important for us to remember and recall so that we can get inspired from those lives. So, if we talk about just Henry Steele Olcott, we are just talking about a personality. But we do not talk about personality as such because the personality is mortal and personalities come one after the other. And every time a new personality comes, it's a new personality with new learning. So when we begin as from the causal body. If we talk about the causal body and the ego of Henry Steele Olcott, then what we are talking about is Ulysses. So if you've read the book Man, Whence, How, and Whither, all the research that was done by C.W. Leadbeater and Dr. Annie Besant was regarding the past lives of certain members of the Theosophical Societies and how those egos had evolved and reincarnated time after time. So it was seen that while going through those list of parameters of how those egos through taking up various personalities were evolving, they also came across Colonel Henry Steele Olcott and they saw that the name of Henry Steele Olcott here is Ulysses. So Ulysses is the ego, and this ego is going to reincarnate. And I'm going to talk about the reincarnations. So Ulysses is the ego, and the first time, it is more than 200,000 years BCE back, that Ulysses met Master Maurya. So Master Maurya is there in the Golden City. He's managing the Golden City. He's the king of the palace of that central gated city. And during that time, Ulysses is the imperial guard. So the imperial guard and the soldiers are always centered around the king and the prince. And in that past life, Madam HPB, Madam Blavatsky, was a prince. So the prince, the name of the prince is Viraj. So Viraj is being guarded by Colonel Henry Steele Olcott. And in those days, the prince and the kings need to be guarded very completely, so that there was no overshadowing by the conspirators, and the conspirators could not take hold of the central city. The main the king who was taking control of that city and was ruling that city. So during that ruling, it was just that the conspirators had somehow they were trying to capture Madame Blavatsky, which is that ego. And then Ulysses, the guard, the imperial guard, gets killed in trying to save HPB. And while he's trying to save HPB, he loses his life in that battle. And during that time, the other guards come in, but they come a little later. And then the king comes in the end, and it is said a bond of blood is shared between the two of them. Because Ulysses, the ego, says that I am sorry that I could not take care of the prince and I could not guard the prince properly. Yet I would want to serve you again, life after life. So that's how that bond is made between Master Maurya, who's the king, and the Ulysses, the ego. And in that life, they gelled together and that bond remained. And then we see after a few lives again, the Ulysses, the ego, comes over as King Ashoka. Now, King Ashoka is called Ashoka the Great. Why is he called Ashoka the Great? Because most of the northern and southern South Asian Indian region was under the control of Chandragupta Maurya, and he was the third amongst the king of the Maurya dynasty. So in the Maurya dynasty, Chandragupta Maurya had conquered almost the whole of the central India and the South India. However, they were unable to take control of Kalinga. Kalinga is somewhere in Odisha and Odisha area. So Kalinga was something that Chandragupta Maurya could not take control of. And in those days, kings were always expanding. So when Ashoka came as a ruler, there was a Kalinga war which was fought, and there was a lot of bloodshed. It is said that in the history that the blood was scattered everywhere. More than 150,000 soldiers got killed. Even the women and the children participated in the war in the end to end the devastation which had happened during the Kalinga war. So this is how Ulysses in the next life has now come as King Ashoka, and there's a lot of bloodshed. And King Ashoka was so traumatized after seeing the bloodshed, although he had won Kalinga. However, the bloodshed was so traumatic for him that he left wars forever, and he converted himself to Buddhism. And when he learned the teachings of Buddhism, although a Mauryan king as the emperor King Ashoka, yet he converted himself to Buddhism, and then he practiced and rather propagated Buddhism. So he sent his children also to different parts of India and Asia, everywhere, and he was trying to say that how Buddhism needs to be practiced and peace is the most important thing, and violence needs to be curbed and non-violence needs to be practiced. So he was trying to, come out from the pain and the suffering that he had himself gone through during the Kalinga War. It is also said that it is said that King Ashoka, in his dying years, in the last stage of his life, when he was still traumatized and in suffering, that he could not do much for the society, he could not propagate Buddhism. It is said that Master Maurya had shown him the vision of the future. And it was said that in that future it was shown to him that in the past life he had served Master Maurya, And in this life also, he had propagated Buddhism. And it was shown that in the future life, in the sixth root race, he will again be born and he will still be serving the masters. And that made that made him go end his life in peace as King Ashoka. So this is the second life, which is very important for us because it is giving us a lot of inspiration. We are trying to understand how an ego who is coming up into the various personalities is learning patience, perseverance, it's learning courage, it's learning loyalty towards its masters, towards higher life. How because of whatever in the kriyaman karma he has generated through his own actions, he is again trying to conquer his own self, his inner self, by trying to undo with his own negativity, and the personality is trying to build up good virtues into his life. So now what happens in this life, as we know him, he is the co-founder along with Madam Blavatsky, and we see him as Colonel Henry Steele Olcott. And this is why we celebrate the ADYAR Day. Now, Colonel Henry Steele Olcott was born on 2nd August 1832 and he died on 17th Feb 1907. He was an American military officer. And in 1874, he became interested in the seances which were happening at the Eddy Brothers in Chittenden. So you can read all about that in the Old Diary Leaves. The Old Diary Leaves is his own version. Henry Steele Olcott writing all by himself his own biography, his own autobiography as to what Madam Blavatsky and HSO went through during the establishing years of the Theosophical Society. I also came across certain books while I was going through HSO's articles and books. However, I could not find much truth into those books which were not written by HSO but were written by some other people. And those books have been published by the Theosophical Society, but they did not seem very valid to me. So if you have to really know about the personality of Henry Steele Olcott, I would suggest that please go through Old Diary Leaves and also go through Man, Whence, How and Whither. They are beautiful books and they tell you about the members of the Theosophical Society and what are the sacrifices that they have done for the place on which we are standing, the place where we are trying to propagate theosophy, but we still do not know about theosophy the way they do, the way they served the Theosophical Society. So we get to, we feel more motivated, we feel more inspired, and we also get a spark within us that yes, we should also try to serve our society better by, serving Theosophical Society, by serving as much as possible the humanity in which we are living. I would also I'll still continue further ahead. I still have time. Yeah. So now he's meeting Madam Blavatsky in Chittenden, Vermont, and this was an year before the Theosophical Society got established. They were both interested in seances, and Henry Steele Olcott further says that Madam Blavatsky helped him foster the development of that spiritual philosophy which was somewhere dormant within him. But after meeting her, he changed. And in 1875, they both together became the co-founder president members of the Theosophical Society. He also propagated Buddhism at that time. And he went to a lot of countries in Asia to spread more of Buddhism. He has also written the book Buddhist Catechism, which was composed in 1881. And if we have to go through what is Buddhist Catechism, it's in the question answer form. So we can get to learn about how the teachings were propagated in those times, 150 years back, how those teachings were propagated and how the society was. In modern times, Theosophical Society has been doing these sessions, the ADYAR Day and everything, timelessly every year. In different forums, in every lodge, theosophy is being taught in different places. So that's all I get to say for the ADYAR Day, and heartiest congratulations to all. And I hope everybody gets inspired by HSO's journey.
Yeah, thank you, dear Mansi Bhagat. And it is so clear and very clean presentation from you. That is very glad to hear from you. And thank you. And we are moving to third speaker. Uh, it is me, Deepika. Uh, I am an executive member of Rajmandri Theosophical Lodge under the Telugu Federation and presently living in Hyderabad. I am also Assistant General Manager with Kotak Mahindra Group. Along with my corporative career, I am taking classes for as an educational trainer for IIT NEET and engineering students. And uh, along with that, I am a classical dance teacher. Uh, and coming to my family, it is deeply rooted in this theosophy from generations. Uh, and I am the daughter of KV Gopalkrishna Garu, and he is the secretary of RJY Theosophical Society. And I am married to Sairam Pate. He is also the member of Theosophical Society from Tadepalli Gudam. And recently, I contributed to Telugu translation of Theosophy documentary One Fire, and also a active speaker and participant in Indian section online meetings and study camps. Thank you. And my topic today is realization of truth by Bruno and Leadbeater. And coming to it, they both contributed significantly to the exploration of truth, though they operated vastly in different contexts. Bruno, as Renaissance philosopher, challenging medieval dogmas, and Leadbeater as a theosophical uh, clairvoyant mapping the unseen worlds. Coming to Bruno, the realization of truth in his words is was very rooted in a radical and pantheistic and cosmological interpretation of the universe. Rejecting the finite cosmos, Bruno proposed an infinite universe populated by an infinite number of worlds, arguing that this vastness reflects the infinite power of God. Bruno taught that God is not a distant, transcendent judge, but immanent in all things. Truth is realized by recognizing the divine within nature, leading to a panpsychism where all matter is animated. In his work, Bruno describes the intense intellectual love required to rise above sensual limitations and attain an intimate knowledge of reality. He also advocated for the freedom of thought against religious persecution, arguing that truth is not restricted to one doctrine, but is understood through the light of reason and natural inquiry. Bruno utilized these complex systems to organize knowledge, aiming to digest the entirety of the universe within the mind. As in our society, the motto like Satyam Nasti Paro Dharmaha, there is no religion higher than truth, is the searching for ultimate reality, which is seen as the essence of all religions, philosophies, and sciences. Truth is recognized not just through intellectual study, but through direct personal experience and inner realization. And coming to the lead beater, he presented theosophy as a body of facts, not theories. He argued that anyone willing to train their mind through meditation and purity could verify for themselves the teachings of masters of wisdom. He detailed the structure of the cosmos, including astral, mental, and Buddhic planes, and provided practical methods for spiritual development, including meditation and control of thoughts. The hidden life investigation of churches and religious uh, things, he explored the nature of spiritual energy, is a recording in his findings of signs of sacraments. Bruno also relied on reasoning and deduction to interfere the nature of infinite universe, while Leadbeater relied on direct observation and investigation. Both sought out the liberate humanity from religious dogma and fear. Bruno focused on intellectual freedom, and Leadbeater focused on evolution of consciousness through the theosophical study. So, it involves emerging from duality of existence and realizing one's identity with the absolute, Brahman. The process requires profound effort, introspection, and discrimination, which means viveka, to distinguish between the real and the unreal. It marks the cessation of creating ignorance or falsehoods, culminating in a state of certainty and peace. And thank you. And this is my part. And now we are going to the next speaker, the wonderful soul, Suvralina ji. And she is the National Lecturer of Theosophical Society of and currently serves as the Secretary of Delhi region for the Theosophical Order of Service, an HR and learning and development professional with 30 years of experience. She also works for holistic development of children and youth. She is the founder, trustee of Prayas Foundation and conducts life skills sessions for children. And welcoming Suvralina ji, and the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Deepika. And I think this topic which has been given to me is very close to my heart, as I have been talking about Sri J. Krishnamurti to my younger members of the lodge, and in the youth camp also I generally refer to JK's story, his life, his teachings, his questions. So I think on this occasion of ADYAR Day, it's an honor to speak on the subject which is so deeply connected to ADYAR, my topic being J. Krishnamurti and Theosophy. J. Krishnamurti's relationship with Theosophy, it all started at ADYAR. We all know that. But after that, that journey, that very relationship got unfolded in many ways. And I think when we study that, it will require reflection, maybe dialogues, and sometimes silence. For members of the Theosophical Society or people who have visited ADYAR would know that it's so a living space. And there is a search in that space. There are so many questions you would get answers when you go to ADYAR. And as if the truth is there for many seekers who come from any part of the world. And there has been a deeper understanding for people who visit ADYAR, or who talk about ADYAR, who read about ADYAR. So ADYAR is not just a place. It has a greater vibe. And we all know that when J. Krishnamurti was discovered on the ADYAR beach by the great C.W. Leadbeater, and when he spotted his extraordinary spiritual aura, and probably that is the time it was decided that JK would be the vehicle for the world teacher. ADYAR was his home, his school, his spiritual environment. ADYAR gave him everything. And a world teacher was being prepared with discipline, devotion, sincerity. So this is where we would probably relate to it as we know there is this guru and shishya parampara in our old ancient culture. So it all started at ADYAR for JK and the master. So there was learning, there was surrendering to the master. So it was also a very sacred responsibility on JK. He got cared. So there was a hope, there was a deep faith in him while preparing him for a world teacher. Since we are talking about JK and Theosophy, Theosophical Society has nurtured him, educated him, protected him also, and this is how the world was also getting prepared for a world teacher. If we go back to the history part of it, the things that occurred with him in that environment, there was this Order of the Star in the East which was formed, and many people waited with devotion and hope that something new is coming up. And many of the people that time, they were living in an extraordinary moment of history when this was formed. And if we talk about theosophical perspective, it is like the flowering of a long held spiritual expectation was coming to shape. If I may relate it to the first object of theosophy, which is universal brotherhood of humanity, I think when Krishnamurti was seen and he was being trained, probably shaping him into a world teacher was welcoming the person by many religions, by many belief holders. There was no barrier. All people could, reach out to this truth through his quest, the way he questioned, the way he put up things to the world. I think any belief system you come from, you would be able to relate to Krishnamurti. And I think that is the first step towards universal brotherhood. When being from any belief system or religion, you actually converts to something very potential, very profound. Krishnamurti's journey, however, took a Indian turn, I would say, because he is the one who did not go for a go for any great authority. Rather, he was trying to teach us, he was trying to tell us that let us get into our inner awareness. So he was not more towards outward relationship or leadership or bowing down to any authority, than he was more toward self-realization. When we are connecting with our inner self, he began to look inward, and that's what he probably wanted all of us to do. And that is where his statement, when he was dissolving this Order of the Star, he would say us a thing like, truth is a pathless land. When I say truth is a pathless land, quoting JK, he would remind us that we cannot approach it by any path, by any religion, by any sect. And probably it was not rebellious of him. Rather, he gave us clarity out of deep observation. He was beyond those things which many of the people that time could not see. He was even trying to tell us that never cling to any idea, even if it's spiritual. So his statement was more of, when he said truth is a pathless land, he would remind us that people used to get into many paths like bhakti, is a path, jnana is a path, there is a karma as a path, yoga, yogic actions or practices are another ways to go to a path. So these paths have guided probably millions of people. Even if we kind of go to the Upanishad, when it reminds us, like not this, not that, there could be many things. Neti is like not this, or not that. So Krishnamurti helped us, asked us to look beyond all this. And probably he wanted us to look beyond it and then connect to the inner self. Krishnamurti, I think, taught the second object of theosophy also. When we talk about study of religions, all religion, philosophy, truth, science. So he never dismissed the study of learning. He encouraged us to learn, but he kept on reminding us that only by just reading the books or just understanding the books would not suffice. Let us rather understand life. Let us read life. If I may refer to his book, Inward Flowering, where my younger members were reading this book, we did a camp on that as well. He would ask young students, what are you being ready for? While you are studying as a student, are you ready for a certificate, a qualification, a job, or are you ready for life? This is such a remarkable and profound thing he would ask. It applies to all of us. Are we getting ready for life every moment? So he never said, don't learn, discard things. No, he said, grow beyond that. He was never rejecting the wisdom or learning or knowledge. He would say, grow beyond information and knowledge. Be wiser to ask questions. And don't depend on just beliefs, authorities, or just don't borrow knowledge from anyone, borrow information from anyone. Ask it. Understand it fully. So no guru, no book, whatever secret it is, no organization even can replace our own seeing. That was Krishnamurti. He never denied universal brotherhood, not even denied compassion, not even denied inner transformation. He would rather put us in a position to question all authorities, all the things that is churning inside. So he would say, the moment you follow someone, you cease to follow truth. That's what probably Truth is a Pathless Land summarizes. So for many of us, we have been raised to respect teachers, elders, traditions, our cultures, but still we feel unsettling sometimes. We feel uncomfortable sometimes. So that doesn't mean that we would stop respecting people, but at least we will question. The third objective of theosophy is to discover our hidden possibilities, potential. That is where he said us, inquiry inward. Just to understand, is it fear or is it conditioning? Is it my habit or is it my memory? Am I operating on something from my past? Am I able to leave my past? Am I able to work on my habits every moment in my daily life? I think he gives us very practical things to do. And that is where he said that real change should happen in your individual mind and heart. If I may refer to the Bhagavad Gita, which I tend to every time get into when I speak about such topics, when Krishna is asking Arjuna to see clearly and act freely, he is giving a choice to Arjuna. Just see it clearly. See and be responsible for your own karma. You cannot just rely on any other person. It's in you, it's in you, it's in you. And if I may talk about current practices, we all somewhere attend spiritual talks. We even go to YouTubes or Instagram to watch people talking about spirituality, spiritual practices. Almost every day we get WhatsApp messages which talks about inspiring knowledgeable, informative, or sometimes spiritual things. Yet there is fear in the world, there is anxiety in the world, there is comparison in the world. Krishnamurti would always hold a hand and ask, do not judge, do not compare, just observe what is going inside you. The way you listen, the way you think, the way you relate to your daily life, people, places, books, relationship, every damn thing. How are we doing it? By just being observant. Krishnamurti tells us to be observant. And for that reason, he always connected us to the core of theosophy. What have been our objects, 3 objects. That is how I wanted to relate to the 3 objects, what Krishnamurti would talk about. We all understand a theosophic life is a very simple life in its values, when we take thoughtful actions, when we are inclusive in our approach. So, as a theosophic living, whatever we are doing, Krishnamurti tells us to stick to that, to be observant, to lead simplicity, to be attentive, and being thoroughly honest about our feelings, about the way we think, the way we respond to situations, respond to people, the way we sometimes react also. Let us hold back and watch ourselves. He would say that how we live is more important than what we believe. Our life is more important than our belief system. We might be doing something out of our belief, but when we cross check, we can have that clarity. Is it because out of fear I'm doing it? Just because I'm superstitiously believing something without knowing the logic, without ever even asking, questioning? The moment we start doing that, we will start living a pure, fundamental, basic, and a happy life. So he would always tell us to be observant, to live life to its fullest, but with a framework of questioning, understanding, and value based. He reminds us that we must live life with its unity of life through our choices, our relationship, our inner life. So, whatever teachings he has given us as a world teacher, it all reminds us that spirituality is never ever separate from our daily living. It is how we live life itself. That is spirituality. That is theosophic living. That's what I would like to conclude as. So let us live a theosophic life. Let us live a simple life, an aware life, an observant life. Thank you.
And thank you, ma'am. It's very sublime information that you gave in a very simple words. And thank you for that. Thank you so much. And it's a wonderful gatherness with you all on this ADYAR Day, which honors the memory of Colonel Henry Steele Olcott, who passed away on this day in 1907. And the day which serves to highlight the peaceful universal brotherhood and spiritual significance of ADYAR campus. And if anyone wants to add a simple few lines, please, you can come forward. Okay. And as we closing this gathering, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who contributed to this meeting, and mainly Pradeep Mahapatraji. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and to both speakers and participants. May we all continue to advance in our search for the light and uphold the principles. Thank you, everyone. And we are near to closing this session with little Santi mantra, and hope everyone will join. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Thank you everyone for making this wonderful success.